Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Harmony and I'm so happy to be here. If you don't know me, you can check out my intro on how to empower yourselves. And you can also check out the link to my website in the description box below. So let's move into today's topic, that is about how can you help yourselves, like how can we help ourselves and the planet in the ascension process. So like we all know, if we are listening to this video, we all know we are going through awakening process, and for some people it's been a long journey, for others it started recently. So it depends what stage on our awakening we are at, but for me it's been ongoing for over 10 years now. And back in 2013, that's the time when I got this really strong feeling within me while meditating that I'm here to help the planet. And I didn't know how to do that because obviously we need to work, we need to have a job to pay our bills and etc. So I've been looking into a lot of things and listening to a lot of people as well, and I have to be very grateful to whoever I listen to. It's been like a number of people, because we are at different stages. So the whatever resonates with us at what stage we are, that's what we are going to listen to. That's what's going to come into our awareness. So I didn't have a clue, although I've been listening to everything, and I didn't know how to help the planet and how to help. But what should I do? What job should I do? I started looking into going into the green job, or doing things like healing and all that. But then, what I realized over the years was that the best thing we can do is to be ourselves. Okay, so this process takes time. I mean, for some people it may happen quickly. It depends on how much work we've done in all our previous births, that we have been here on this planet, because it's not like all of a sudden we awaken, we get all this information in one go. It's been like accumulating every single lifetime we've lived here, and we've been preparing for that, for where we are now. So all this information that we've got from all the other lifetimes, they've been accumulated, and now we are at a stage where everything is unfolding. And obviously the soul expansion never stops. We keep on growing, so it doesn't come to a point where we feel like, yeah, now I'm through. I've come to the point where I don't need to learn anymore. No, it doesn't happen like that. And another thing, like a lot of people think about, is like, what if I go back? That doesn't happen either, because that's the soul's evolution. Okay, and we are always evolving. It's fine, like when we came here in the first place, we were already evolved, but we had to go, we went through this process where we all fell into this unknown, and we got lost, and so we've been working our way through all these lifetimes to go to the point again where we understand who we are and what's going on. So I would just refer you to one of my videos that's about the duality of Ascension. So if you could watch that, if you feel guided to, then you know what's going on in on the planet at this time. But I just want to briefly mention this, that the Earth is going through an ascension process, and so there's a lot of people who are here to help her with this process. Okay, so obviously you would probably have an idea of what ascension means if you're watching this video. If not, there's so much information out there, and lots of information also about the ascension process, so what happens to your body as well, the symptoms, and what goes on in the expansion of the mind as well. So sorry, so like I said, we all get guided to listen to certain information or read about it or whatever. But what I want to talk about is like, how can we help ourselves? Okay, and how can we help the planet? Because this is what happened to me. I didn't know how to help myself, so I was like, how am I going to help the planet? Because I'm not in this state. But the best thing that you can do is to help yourself. That's the best thing that you can do. Help yourself, be yourself, become yourself, the real self that you are. Once you start becoming that, you're already starting to help the planet. Why is that? That's because once you start to get to know yourself, understanding yourself and who you truly are, what are your potentials, and what is your consciousness, everything, then you naturally start matching what the planet is going through, because she's an evolved being, okay, and she knows what's going on. So when we expand our consciousness, we can match the consciousness of the planet and understand like what is going on with the planet. But I know this is all quite hard to get to this point where we can expand our consciousness to that point. So we can start by doing little things, okay, but you can't go and start be in service without helping yourself. So what I mean by that, just give you an analogy of when we are flying and the instructions that are given, the flight attendant gives to us, they say if we go at a very high altitude, the oxygen masks will automatically fall in front of us. And they always say, you wear that mask first before you help someone else. So even your child is sitting next to you, you help yourself first. So this is what I mean by helping yourself. So because when you're helping yourself, you are becoming yourself and bringing that energy, that vibration, that the consciousness that the planet needs, the light, the love, the pure energy that the planet needs to ascend, to help her. So, I mean, she can do this by herself, but she's trying to help us as well. So it's both ways. Okay, so the reason why I'm saying like by being yourself, you are doing the best that you can. So this is what happens, because when you have the will, okay, the first thing starts with the will, having the will to become yourself, to know who you truly are, to get to understand your soul, who your soul is. Why are we listen to this term all the time, like you're a spiritual being, a multidimensional being of infinite potentials. What does it even mean? So deep within us, we know the answers. We know all the answers. Our heart knows all the answers, because we do come from the source that created everything, and the source that created everything is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. So it knows everything. It's everywhere, and it's got all power. So it's like we've got that in us because we come from there. But what happens when we've come here, we've forgotten about all this. So this is what, by trying to become ourselves, our true selves, and who we are not meant to be, but what our soul desires us to be. So that is if you call source God, there is part of God in you. So that is your God self, okay? So we've all got this God self. So this is why we are spiritual beings of infinite potentials, because we are as sources It's multidimensional and it knows everything. It's got the potential to create. So are we. But we are so lost into this world uh, that on our day-to-day lives that we don't realize that. But if you've come to the point where you feel like, yeah, you want to do something to help the planet, to help yourself, so the first thing is to do is to help yourself. Start to know yourself. Start getting to know yourself, who you are, where you stand. And in order to start getting to know yourself, you need to start differentiating on what is a real feeling. What does it feel to be the real you? How would you want it to be? And the answer comes when you ask your heart. And you just ask your heart, what is the real me? How does the real me feel like? So you need to have the will in the first place. So you have the will to start becoming yourself. And then when your heart starts speaking to you, because what happens, the mind asks questions. I did another video on consciousness, collective consciousness, unity consciousness, and our mind. So you can check that out as well. But the mind asks the questions, okay, and the heart knows the answer. So when you want to know who you really are, you are detaching yourself from all that is going around you and going within and listen to your heart, and the heart knows the answer, and it can come in the form of a feeling of how you feel. So you pick up on these feelings and see how you feel. And now what happens is, like, sometimes we don't get answers and we get frustrated. This is because there's a lot of clouds. Okay, because we've been living so many lifetimes, and there are a lot of clouds that have come around us. So we need to clear those clouds away. And what are those clouds? They are all these low vibrational emotions. They are all the memories that we've got that has affected us, like trauma. There's something called the emotional brain as well. You can check it out. And people know about it, like psychiatrists know, they also know about it. But how do we heal that? Because that records all the traumas that we've been through, everything, all the types of emotions, and sometimes we don't even know. So that's why I do Pulselike regression sessions, and this is another thing, how you can find out, like going into the past and find out what affected you in a past life. Like you could have things happening now and you don't even understand why. You can have a phobia now, you don't understand why. So you can go visit your past and find out where it originated. Sometimes it's originated in this lifetime, in your childhood, but you can also go back, in previous lifetimes. So, but you can start doing that. Like anytime you feel there is an emotion that is clouding you, these are all the low vibrational emotions, okay? Because we live in a world where there is good and evil, okay? But that doesn't exist at higher levels, okay? There is only oneness. There's only unity at a higher level, so that doesn't exist. So to me, there's no like good and evil. To me, there's choices and consequences. So whatever choices you make, you have the consequence, because that's the law of universe. That's what happens. So it depends on what you want to choose, the choices you make, and you get this that back in return, the same thing back in return. So you start picking up on all these emotions that you've buried deep within, you kept deep within. You don't even have to do past life, I just mentioned it to give you an example, but you can get this information by yourself. So you need to start looking into that. And there's so much like gets imprinted in a child when a child is between 1 to 7, because that's the time when everything that happens, they leave unconditioned at that time. So everything that happens, they pick it up. So a lot of things that are clouding the real self, the real you, could be from that time. Okay, like I mentioned, also past lives, or a number of things that we've gone through. So this is the emotion side of it. Try to pick up on all these emotions. Why does it feel that way? Do you have any anger emotions? So question yourself. Try to go into meditation and question yourself. Do I have anything to do that, any memories of anger in me? Do I have this feeling of anger? Do I have this feeling of guilt? Do I have this feeling of being abandoned? Do I have this feeling of hurt? So pick up on all these feelings and try to find out why. And I'll do a separate video on how to get over these feelings, but it's good to go and find out what these feelings are, what you have got in your body, because this is the emotional side of the life. You have to let go of all this. If we want to ascend, we can't take this with us. So these need to be resolved, okay? Then we go to the thoughts. So look at your thought patterns. What do you think? What do you believe? Because whatever you think, you believe and you become. And if you listen to my video on affirmation, this is what I talk about, how you become that. Okay, so find out about your thoughts. Try to pick up on the thoughts and catch yourself every time you're thinking of something that doesn't resonate with you. Your heart says no, and question that. And by look back into your life, okay, and see what decisions you made. Did you make them by thinking, or did you make them using your heart, or what thoughts were involved? How did you think? What is your thought patterns? How do they work? And how much of that is ego, and how much of that is like, yeah, you've done it to be to expand yourself, to be more like learn. In order to learn, you've made those certain choices, or did you make them because your ego mind made you to make them? So try to come out of those thoughts and start clearing yourself. And another way to find out what thoughts come to you is when you go into meditation, or just go into silence and close your eyes. And when you sit down, close your eyes, just see whatever thoughts are coming into your mind. Do not get attached to them, just watch them. Just watch what thought is coming, why these thoughts are coming up. Okay, try to understand, why did it come up? Did this thought come up? Don't give any emotion to it, just see, just watch them. Every single time a thought comes to you, watch why. Go and try to start digging into it. I'll do another video about the thoughts and how to work on them. But to end this video, this is what I'll say. To ascend, you need to start working on yourself. Like, I know a lot of people are becoming sensitive. Like, they can feel things, because what's happening, a lot of other people are waking up and they are starting to raise the vibration. When the vibration starts changing, then it helps you to change your vibration as well. So this is why a lot of people are becoming sensitive to all these things that are happening. And we've also got a lot of help from realms that are beyond this realm. So look into it and try to pick up on your thoughts and your feelings and try to start working on them. Then by becoming the true you, by releasing anything that doesn't serve you anymore, let them go, you start becoming you, and you start bringing whatever you are meant to be whoever you are, the embodiment of who you are. You could be the embodiment of light, you could be the embodiment of wisdom, you could be the embodiment of love. Like whatever, you feel, you can bring this. And when you bring this, you align to the planet as well. So by just being who you truly are, you're helping the planet. You don't need to do anything. You're at the service of others as well, because you're radiating this light across to all around you. So just a way to start looking at things. I hope this helps, and I'm really grateful if you do take some of these information, if they resonate with you, so because I'm happy to help as well. And thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.